morning, everyone. Today I'm going to do a presentation on implementing co-teaching at Crystal Springs Middle School. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Michael Chandler. I'm originally from Starkville, Mississippi. I'm a graduate of Mississippi State University, home of the Bulldogs. I'm currently teaching 7th grade learning strategies here at Crystal Springs Middle School, and also teach driver's ed during the summer at Crystal Springs High School. This is my 14th year teaching. Believe it or not, I might not look that old, but I'm 39. This is my 2nd year here at this school. I also taught 6th grade health and learning strategies here as well. I'm also the assistant football coach here in at Crystal Springs Middle School. I've worked in the education field since 2001 as a tutor, mentor, substitute teacher, and as a certified teacher. All right, as I stated before, our topic is going to be on implementing co-teaching within our school. Some of the objectives that we're going to make sure that we learn before we leave today are the 5 models, strategies of co-teaching, the pros and cons of co-teaching, what co-teaching should look like, and lastly, the benefits of implementing co-teaching in our school. And what I'm going to do right now is show you a quick video dealing with the 5 models of co-teaching. And as each of the models go by, I'm probably going to pause and stop and talk about each of the 5 models.
The teachings in education, teacher collaboration, and co-teaching. We're going to start with co-teaching, one of the main forms of teacher collaboration. The models are credited to Marilyn Frank. Here we'll review through 5 of her models. Patient, teacher collaboration, and co-teaching. We're going to start with co-teaching, one of the main forms of teacher collaboration. The models are credited to Marilyn Frank. Here we'll review 5 of her models. The first one up is one teach, one support. In this model, one teacher is in charge of the classroom instruction, and the other teacher roams the room supporting students. So here's what it looks like. You'll usually see a general education teacher running the lesson, and the special education teacher walking around helping the students in any way possible. The positives include individual help for students, easy to observe behavior. The negatives are unequal power distribution, and students immediately expect help.
All right. Now with one teach and one support, in most cases is going to be with a general ed teacher and a special ed teacher. As you probably note here, we probably don't have that. We don't have that much happening here in the middle school level. Now, on the elementary level, we have a little more of this going on. But one of the things I believe that'll help our school particularly is having that type of support in our classroom, especially with some of the classes that we have where there are a large number of special education students in our classes. I'll move on to the second model.
To the next model, parallel teaching. Students are divided into 2 groups, and both teachers cover the same content, thus increasing supervision. Visually, the classroom looks like this. One teacher is in charge of one half of the room, and the other teacher is in charge of the other half. The pros are you can work in small groups, and each teacher has lesson ownership. The cons are both teachers must know the content, and it can be hard to control the noise. The next model up is stations teaching. Here, this model utilizes learning centers, different lessons where the teacher may individually lead different centers. In this example, I'll illustrate 2 stations. one with a chemical structure model, and the other where a lab demo is taking place. However, you can have 3 or 4 or 5 stations. A big positive is increased student engagement, and teachers can cover more material in a shorter time. Negatives are that it requires lots of pre-planning, and problems with timing often occur. Moving on to alternative teaching. In this model, the majority of students work with one teacher, and a small group works with the other teacher. Here's what it looks like. You'll see most students with one teacher and a small group learning a different lesson with the other teacher. Some of the pros include differentiated instruction, and teachers can move students inside and outside of the classroom. The cons are, one group may be viewed as smarter than the other group. And now we move on to the last model, the most effective model, team teaching. In team teaching, 2 teachers are working together during instruction with an equal understanding of content and respect from students. And here you can see what it looks like. Both teachers are in front of the room, simultaneously teaching the lesson to the students, taking and answering questions. The positives of this model are the students see both teachers as equals. Both teachers can manage behavior. The negatives are that the teachers may step on each other's toes, and the students can often play teachers against each other. These models should be incorporated into what's called an inclusion classroom.
Now, with each of these models, as stated before, with the first model, the one teacher has primary duties, and this normally you'll see it a lot with student teaching. You also see it also with inclusion classrooms. With the second model, you have the teacher and the student in a collective effort. They pre-plan together, they explain, and problem solve for a split classroom. In the third model, alternative teaching, most of the class is managed by one teacher, while the rest of the class works in a small group. This is sometimes effective when you have some students that's just not getting that particular standard or whatever. For station teaching, station teaching is good when you have, especially when you have a science class or something of that nature, and you want to incorporate math into it. And you can have your math teacher on one side doing a lesson, and you can have your science teacher on the other side doing another lesson, and the lessons kind of coincide, but they're not the same. With tag team, which I think is my favorite, the instructional content and planning and delivery responsibilities are shared by both teachers, which I think is a good idea for us. I believe that we should implement. Now, I don't know how easy that'll be for us to do, but that's where the planning is going to take place. All right, let's move on. There's a debate that I had with some of my classmates in my class. We were discussing collaborative teaching versus co-teaching. And you know, with collaborative teaching, of course, that's when you have like your PLCs and things of that nature. But with co-teaching, it's discussed in those 5 models that we just talked about. So with collaborative, you got a learning community that works together in efforts to increase student learning and achievement. That's when we have those meetings where we go over data and go over particular student needs and things of that nature, and practices that we can do to possibly help the overall teaching environment. It is not a task for teachers, and a lot of times we have an issue with us trying to make teachers work collaboratively. It shouldn't be a task. It should be something that